Hello and welcome back. My name is Rabellaka, and I've decided to do something a little bit different, and I'm going to have a series of build challenges. So what I did was I really enjoyed watching Deligracy's Tiny Town challenge, and so I thought I would do that but as a build challenge, and I mashed it up with a shell challenge that I was doing for Dabney Mallory over on Twitch. And so this was back in April. So this was a shell challenge for a tiny house, and what I decided to do was to make every house on this big lot from Deligracy using the same shell. So the first one is for Frank Stem, who is the green sim, and his skills flower arranging, and his decor style is a farmhouse or vintage or garden, and the color is green. And so I thought for this one I would make it kind of a farmhouse style, but like the farmhouses I'm used to, which are tend to be somewhat Victorian farmhouses, and have lots of garden space and just kind of like a old-fashioned, something that looks like it maybe was built in the 1800s and updated a few times. So I wanted to put a lot of windows along the back here and make this kind of like a greenhouse that's been added onto the house. So I like these arched windows, and I also like the big double door there. So I tried to do that, and then I thought I should probably put a porch on, and I also realized that if I have a foundation on one house, I'm gonna have to have a foundation on all of them. So I decided to do just a little one step foundation. So you don't actually need a flight of steps to get up into the house. It's just step up onto the porch and then you can get into the house. So just adding some windows, some like farmhouse windows. Some of them are a little fancier, which is kind of in line with what I was thinking of for a house. I was kind of modeling it a little bit off of my grandparents' house from when I was growing up. And then on here for the greenhouse, I used the greenhouse kit with some windows open, some windows closed. At first they were all screened in, but then I decided that some of them should probably actually be glass, not just screened. But you'll see, I actually changed my mind again later on and did something different again. So I put a little chimney on here. I put a chimney on most of the houses. I like the effect that if you have a chimney and a fireplace, you actually see smoke coming out of the chimneys. I think that's really neat. So with the roof, I usually don't have much trouble with roofing. I don't know, I just kind of see it as a puzzle to be solved, and I really like puzzles, so I don't usually have too much trouble. I tried to get the roof to match up with this little piece here from the greenhouse kit, but it kind of was clipping weird. I pulled it back, and when I pulled it back over again, it actually went really nicely. I'm not sure why that was the case, but that's how it worked. So when I put the greenhouse on, I actually kind of forgot that it was supposed to be green, and started off with everything being very brown. I was trying to do kind of a greenish rock though, and I did remember like when I did the what do you call it? The foundation. The foundation is definitely green, and but I kind of forgot when I did the walls to make them green at first. Or well, it doesn't really. I wanted rocks, and there wasn't really very many rock walls that look good. So I also have a back door coming out of the greenhouse, and so I have a little step there that they can go off of, and then the front porch as well. And then I have all of the items that were left on the slot. I've tried to use as much of them as I could. I got rid of the tent because we didn't need that anymore. But I kept the box and the cooler and the flower arranging table, and then all the seeds and everything are there as well. And even though I couldn't find green rocks, I did manage to find a green top for the roof part of it, so I think it looks okay. And I was having so much trouble with that little piece for the top of the greenhouse. I just couldn't get it to look right, so I finally just got rid of it. And then here you can see I changed the windows again when I remembered and changed the color of them all to green. So they're the multi-pane windows now. And we have some roof trim on here, and I remembered to put a green roof on. I didn't really like most of the green roofs. It was like I had an option of mossy or like plastic or metal, and I didn't really like how most of them looked. But I did end up using the mossy one at the end. And then in my greenhouse, I have some shelves for things to go on, and I have some of these garden boxes as well. I started off using these large ones from Werewolves, but I don't think I kept them all as the pots. I think I switched most of them over to the little pots. And I moved my cooler outside and put a little table on here. That's where I put all the little seeds and some little decor here, little seedlings growing. So I do like to garden quite a bit, so I have a lot of seedlings growing in my basement actually. So that's something I knew what it was supposed to look like. Alright, so now you can see I had switched here all to the little pots, and then I'm trying to get the shelves and the lights all to work together here. And I switched it to night. I tend to build a lot at night so I can see what the lighting effects look like, and then sometimes I forget to switch it back to daytime. So here we are still working on it at night and completely forgetting that you can see things better during the day. But I have my chimney there. Now I remember to switch it to daytime. And I had moved the foundation down so that I could put the platform in for the chimney. I'm not sure why I moved it down, but I did bring it back up. So I got my chimney in here, and then I thought, well, maybe he'll have some windmills or something. It needs something on the roof. So I thought about the windmills, but I thought, no, that's not really, I don't think that's really his style. So I put some decor on. I didn't like it. So I tried some other things on here. I got a little, what do you call it? The thing that spins in the wind. And then I put some more garden spots here, fixed the fence so it goes all the way around. So with the fence, I made each plot completely fenced in so that if you have for rent and wanted to have this as apartments, you could have it done that way. And so each plot would be its own apartment. So I also put in a little shed here at the back. It's just supposed to be like a little gardening shed to put some things in here. And then I decided I didn't like the roof on the greenhouse still, so I made a little rounded roof. And it looks more. It actually looks more like it's added onto the house like that, because I did want it to be like not part of the house. Like it's supposed to be added on, so it does look very different. And I got the little fan for ventilation put on the side of the greenhouse as well. So I just was looking through here for some decor items. I was looking for these tools, and sometimes I find other things that I want to include in the house too, so I just threw them in there somewhere. And this box, I thought it would look like something that would be on a farm, and oops, I accidentally clicked on one of the set pieces from what's it called again? Good Famous. But I got my tools all up on the wall, and I have some other little storage pieces in here for gardening. This one here, I thought it looked better in the greenhouse itself, so I changed the greenhouse to have all of the small pots in there and put the larger ones outside. And I also moved the cooler. It didn't really seem to fit where it was, so it's in the storage shed as well. We're not using it anymore, just kind of keeping it around as like a nostalgia, I guess. So it's in the storage shed, and I also put in the water heater and electrical box in the shed as well. So this house actually does have those in it. So if you're playing it not as an apartment, but as the whole lot, then this is where you would find all the utilities. Okay, so I have a bunch of little pots that I'm setting up here, and then I decided to move into the house. So first of all, I have the bedroom, and I wanted to have as much green as I could in this house. It does end up being very green. So I found a mint green bathroom set here with the shower curtain and the toilet, and even the sink is mint green on the side. So it's supposed to look kind of old-fashioned, like not Victorian, but just kind of old. And put some things up on the wall. Just whenever I find something that I like to add it on. So I put toilet paper on all of these because I was trying to put it actually in other spots, but it just sits on the shelves. So I actually end up with the toilet paper all on the back of the toilet and other things on the shelves, like cotton balls, toothbrushes, some washcloths. And finding a mirror was really hard too, because the mirrors are too low a lot of the times, and it is a small sink, so I had to try to find something that was a smaller mirror too. And then I found walls and floors from high school years. I thought they looked really nice together there. Put some little lights in here. I always forget to do lights. This is part of the reason why I often build at night, is because I forget to put lights in builds if I'm building during the day. I have a few that I've put up on the gallery that have no lights in them at all, just because I completely forgot. So I have a little bench here, and it's like a little porch area with a little fence and a little opening where you can go down and have a little barbecue. And there's laundry here too. There's a clothesline and a wash tub. I wanted this particular part of the lot to be a off the grid. So if it's set to an old apartment, that's what I would have set this to, was off the grid. And that's because I feel like a lot of old farmhouses were built when there was no power. So, or perhaps, well, there's running water in this one. There's piped water, but just to have it off the grid and maybe feel a little bit more old-fashioned. So trying to, this main room here, this is going to be like a kitchen and dining and living room all in one. Oh, and also I put ceilings on all of the rooms too. And so I'm just kind of going through and choosing the wallpapers here. So the living room is a very large flowered design, and with a little alcove for the fireplace. I could have made it just a chimney, but I wanted to have the fireplace set back a little bit. Gives it a little bit more space for the rest of the room. And the living room, sorry, not the living room, the bedroom. The bedroom is just kind of a nice little striped wallpaper with the some wainscoting in there. So for the kitchen part of it though, I did want to have like a peninsula or an island, so there's space to actually work, but it doesn't take up the whole area. And unfortunately, the color of everything does not really match the walls here. The walls are more of a yellowy green, and everything else is kind of more of a bluey green. The table matches with the counters and the appliances. So I even have a little area in here for some plants indoors. There's some pots, and there's also a vertical planter. And then I moved on to the living room, and everything wanted to sit up on the top shelf, but that's right at ceiling level, so I had to put some items up there in order to get my lamps to be on the lower shelf on this. And I did want to have this without an overhead light, just being lit with the candles, sconces, and lamps on the floor. And I love the, oh yeah, and I put in an organ, so that made the living room a little cramped, so I had to rearrange it so that I had more space to have the organ. And having an organ in the living room is a very old-fashioned thing. I mean, when I was growing up, my family had an organ in our living room, and my grandparents had several pianos in their house. I have a great uncle who used to tune pianos, so we always had a lot of pianos around. But yeah, we had an electric organ in our living room when I was growing up, so I don't find it that uncommon, but maybe that's just me. So I do realize that's a piano and not an organ, but it reminds me very much of how much space that that electric organ took up, because it was bigger than our piano was. Yes, we had both. So moving on to the bedroom. I went for more of a kind of a beige color in here. And have some radiators as well. I like this. It looks kind of warm and cozy. And I'm trying to make it not look cramped. I've got an old mirror even. And then I kind of just... See, this is what happens when I build, is I go back and forth all over the place. So I went back to the kitchen here again, and I put some dried plants hanging on the walls and some pots and pans hanging on the walls. And then I moved back to the bedroom briefly as I found a decoration to go in there. And then I have the mail sitting by the door where it's easy to well, when you come in the front door, you put the mail there. It's easy to use. So I have some plates stacked up inside there. If you don't put something in there, the Sims are just going to put dirty dishes in there. So and I did want to have a TV, so I put one on the little coffee table. It's just a little cheap TV. I love the basement treasures kits. There's so many neat things in there. But if you look, I do use a lot of packs in this. So I have stuff from Crystal Creations. I have stuff from the Book Nook kit. I have plants everywhere. I think this is a type of sim who would have like dozens, even like maybe hundreds of plants all over the place. So, and then I have a little path going around here, and just doing some landscaping, some painting and everything. And this house is basically done for now. Okay, I'm going to take you on a quick tour of the house. Now, I did add a few things later on, so try to ignore the buildings in the background too. There's a few other things that weren't there before, like there is a wishing well here, and a sales table here, and a little decorative planter there. There's also a mailbox, and a bird bath, just some little things that weren't there before. So I do have a bee box here, Birdie's Bees box here beside the little garden that I have set up, and there are some windmills here. You can access them from either side of the house, really. Okay, let me just put the roof down here so I can see. And we can see most of this is actually still the same as it was before when I was building. So we have our little tool shed here. We have our little tool shed here with the electrical panel and the hot water heater. And let's move over here to the front. And I'm just going to go into tab mode for this so we can take a look at it a little bit nicer. So we can come up onto this little patio area here. We have a little fairy garden here. Let's go through the doors. And some things weren't actually available when I built this, and I added them later on as they became available, like that cake stand. When I first built this, wasn't there. We've got a teapot and a coffee pot there. And let's go through here into the bedroom, and you look up and you can see we have nice wooden ceilings. Everything's basically the same as when it was built. So, as you can see here. And there's a light switch here beside the door. And then over here, way over here, so we've got radiators over in this corner. We've got some decorative plates and a plant here, and get into the bathroom. And this is the bathroom here. So this is actually technically a white carpet on the ceiling, but I think that it looks like a plaster. It's like a popcorn ceiling. All right. And let's go through here and into our... Oh, yeah, there's also... Sorry about this. There's also a mixer in the corner there. There we go. And let's go into our living room, where our fireplace is set into the wall here. We've got a stack of books with a plant on top. We've got the bookshelf. We've got our piano with some decorations and some more plants and a lamp. And here's our chair with a peacock in the corner. Nice decoration on the wall. Little old TV. And also ceiling here, no ceiling light, so this room might seem a little bit dark, but it's more cozy that way, I think. So we can go out these back doors into our greenhouse that was added on, and there's no ceiling in this. You can't see the roof in this. But anyways, so up on the shelves we have the little things that came on this lot, and we have our flower arranging table. For some reason there is a box here that this stuff is sitting on. We can't see the box for some reason. I think if we go out of tab mode it should be there. Oh, it must have disappeared. I don't know what happened to the box, but there was a cardboard box sitting here. So we've got a little stand with plants on it. We've got our bonsai tree here, which gives you gardening and flower arranging. And then over on this side, we've got all of our little planters here. And we've got a rack here as well. There we go. So that is our greenhouse. And pretty much everything else here is the way it looks when I built it. It was just some things over here, I think, that were added later on. But anyways, I will see you next time where we will be moving on to the yellow house, which is over here in the corner. So thank you for watching, and don't forget to click like if you like this and subscribe if you're new here, and I will see you next time. Bye!